Avast, mateys. Welcome to the fourth installment of Rogue Bard Advice. Hopefully, the fourth of a long-running advice series. D&D, TTRPG, sports and everything podcast. Originally started as Bard Advice, where you, the viewers, send in questions to me, the Pirate Archaeologist, the Rogue, Pirate, or Chris, and I answer them for you with the help of chat. Hopefully, tonight will go off without a hitch. I'd like to take this time to welcome everybody in the chat. Kirk, River, James, Ron, Ruby. I couldn't do this without you guys. I know Puffy Cheeto may be looming in the background listening because she's driving. But thank you. Yukai Lover, thank you. Welcome in. River threw up a link to the Discord. Please join the Discord. We have fun there. We always like to start the show with a reminder to like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, rate the podcast, share the podcast out. Let's get this thing rolling. We've got 4 episodes under our belt, and as Chris would say, we're just getting started. Good morning, or good evening, cats. Bald Bull, howdy. Welcome in, everybody. Now, let's get on to our first thing. And our first thing would be Archaeology Corner. Now, today's Archaeology Corner is actually going to tie into our first question. So, with that being said, let's start. Discovering Ernest Shackleton's famed ship, the Endurance, was like peeling back a frozen page in history. In March of 2022, over a century after it was claimed by the crushing ice of the Weddell Sea, a team of explorers and scientists located the shipwreck, resting nearly 10,000 feet beneath the Antarctic waves. Remarkably preserved by the freezing temperatures and lack of wood-eating organisms, the Endurance stood eerily intact. Her name, still emblazoned on the back of her hull, on the stern. But finding the ship was just the beginning. Utilizing cutting-edge 3D scanning technology, researchers embarked on an ambitious mission to map the Endurance in unprecedented detail. Autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs, equipped with high-resolution cameras and sonar systems, circled the wreck, capturing thousands of images from every angle. These images were then stitched together using photogrammetry to create a comprehensive and 3D model of the ship. This digital preservation allows historians, archaeologists like myself, and enthusiasts to explore the Endurance virtually, venturing into areas that would be impossible to reach physically. It reveals not only the ship's external grandeur, but also the subtle detail of its construction and the wear from its fateful journey. The 3D mapping serves as a time capsule, offering insights into the 20th century shipbuilding and the harsh realities of Antarctic exploration. What's truly captivating is how this marriage of history and technology breathes new life into Shackleton's legendary expedition. It underscores the power of modern innovation to uncover and preserve the past in ways we once only dreamed of. The success of this endeavor sparks the imagination and questions. What other lost relics lie hidden beneath the ocean's depths, waiting for the right blend of curiosity and technology to bring them back into our narrative? Now, I want to focus on this for a moment. My minor in my bachelor's degree was unmanned aerial systems. with remote sensing, GPR, LiDAR, photogrammetry. I could do this right here, the digital 3D recreation of a sunken ship. I could do that in great detail of physical buildings here on Earth or above the surface of the water. But with that being said, we have done this before with the Titanic. Robert Ballard did photogrammetry, not to this detail, but he did photogrammetry of the Titanic when he first found it. So let's throw this out to the chat. What would the chat like to see this technology be used for on something you guys would like to see? Ruby wants to see Grenadier Pond in High Park, Toronto would be interesting to see. Absolutely. Speaking of Toronto area and Grenadier Pond, how about the wreck of the Edmund Fitz? But this today's archaeology corner actually leads us into our first question. And our first question comes from Kirk. Bismarck, Arizona. Yeah, we could definitely do the Bismarck and the Arizona. Ron, we'll do something on Atlantis later. But our first question of the evening comes from Kirk. Kirk says, some sailors on the ship I crew on are saying that artificers are designing ships with metal plating on their hulls, or where the entire hulls are made of metal, foregoing wood altogether. I say this is crazy talk. I mean, wood floats, but metal sinks. Even if the metal could be enchanted to float in some way, it would rust in the salt water. But they just laugh at me and call me a crazy old man. Am I crazy, or are they? Well, Kirk, I'm glad you asked this question. And I did some digging and I did some research. But before we dig into that, let's talk about the boats in history that have been made of wood and metal. How about the USS Constitution? It's the oldest surviving three-masted sailing ship still in active service in the United States Navy. It has a wooden hull and steel plates on the outside. Or, bring it up 100 years or so, you have the ironclads. You have the Monitor and the Merrimack. They were both started as wooden ships, wooden steamships, as a matter of fact, that were changed to iron. They had iron plates put on them so that they could be fought in that war that we don't like to talk about, the war between us. This is just facts. You're absolutely right. It is facts. Metal sinks and wood floats. However, you gotta incorporate, who is it? Bohr's law about freaking water displacement. But in my digging and in my research, I have found a neat little book called Ships of the Realm. And it's a 5e book. And in this book, you have everything, and I'm just reading it now, you have everything from rowboats to keel boats to keel boats to longships, caravels, sailing ships, warships, galleys, sloops of war. But what caught my eye, what's very interesting, is down here, it has superior ship upgrades. Hull upgrades. Any ship with a hull can gain one of the following upgrades. In some cases, an upgrade also provides a benefit to the ship's other components. First upgrade, Ironclad. An ironclad is a warship protected by iron or steel armor. Ironclads were designed for several roles, including as high seas battleships, coastal defense ships, and long range cruisers. And the plating on the hull in metal materials increases the hull's damage threshold to 40. So while your artificers are creating all of these ironclad warships, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Kirk's like, please, everyone know I asked this from a D&D perspective. I understand, but I wanted to get that out the way so I could get to this because it mentioned ironclad, and I wanted to do a little history thing there. Wait till Kirk finds out about concrete ships. Actually, Ron, you're not half wrong on there. So, back when I was in high school, I was partnered with Florida Institute of Technology, and they were running concrete crew boats, like the rowing crew. They actually made one, and they have it on display, and it's a lightweight concrete. It's not a heavy duty concrete for like construction, but it's a lightweight, very, very buoyant, very, very sturdy crew rowing boat. So you're not wrong on that, Ron. Yes, the USS Constitution was fully wooden hulled. But no, it earned the nickname Old Ironsides because they had iron plated it, which the cannonballs bounced off the sides of the iron plates. You can see it right now. It's still moored in Maryland Harbor, Virginia Harbor, somewhere. But check this out. I will post this up in the Discord, the 5e book for Ships of the Realm. I will post the link of it into the Discord, and you guys can check that out in the Discord. It be Baltimore. Thank you, Ron and Ruby. Thank you. Well, it's Maryland. Or the proposed iceberg ships during World War II, yeah. The Constellation is in Baltimore. The Constitution is in Baltimore. The Independence is in New York Harbor. But that's the aircraft carrier, isn't it? Anyway, moving on. But like I said, that hopefully brings people to the Discord. The Ships of the Realm 5e book. It's only... Let me see. Scroll. It is only 8 pages. So, I hope that gives you something. Next, the next question. I have to read the question. The next question comes from... Let me get it up. Nope, that one. The next question comes from Puffy Cheeto, Amanda. And she asks... Dang it. We're having technical difficulties. I have too many hotkeys. Let's just do it this way. She asks, hey, Pirate, I have some questions I wanted to ask for the podcast and get your thought. I'm missing some here. She asks if you could put together a group or a party, and these are the 4 choices you get to add to your party. Who would you create and what would you create? So she asked me for a Marvel character, a DC character, a Star Wars character, and a video game character. Well, this is what I came up with. My Marvel character is Blade. My DC character is John Constantine. My Star Wars character is Han Solo. And my video game character is the Black Mage from Final Fantasy. Now, where are they from? Marvel, DC, Star Wars, video games. And what would their character types be? Well, Blade would be a fighter, champion. John Constantine would be a lore bard. Han Solo, obviously, a rogue thief. And the Black Mage is obviously my wizard. I like this. I think this party would kick ass. And let's throw it back to the chat. What do you guys think? Did I do good for a party of Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and a video game character? I mean this one was kind of hard. I mean, I could have thrown in a group of Rangers. I could have thrown in freaking Hawkeye for Marvel. I could have thrown in Green Arrow for DC. I mean, Kirk says Wolverine, Batman, Chewbacca, Lara Croft. Okay, I can see that. Ron, I did good. River, Moon Knight, John Constantine, Han Solo, and Doom Guy. Okay, I like Doom Guy. Duke Nukem, you throw in Duke Nukem there. Hellblazer. Yeah. Could have thrown in there. I saw a post. Let me see if I can pull that up, because I saw a post on the Reddit about this same thing, and it brought out some interesting Marvel and DC characters that represent each class. Barbarian. Okay, Chris, I'm glad you said Hulk for a barbarian. Okay, so this is Marvel and DC characters that best represent each class. For barbarian, you have Hulk as a berserker barbarian, Wolverine as a Wildheart barbarian, Thor as a World Tree barbarian, and Moon Knight as a Zealot barbarian. Then you have, for the Bard class, you have Gwen Stacy as her Spider-Gwen. For a dance bard, you have Jubilee as a glamour bard. You have John Constantine as a lore bard. And you have Star-Lord as a valor bard. For cleric, the only two I know on here for these characters are Loki as a trickery cleric and Diana Wonder Woman as a war cleric. But they have a life cleric and they have a light cleric, and I honestly I'm not big up on my comics, so I don't know these guys. For a druid, you have Poison Ivy as a land druid, Beast Boy as a moon druid, Aquaman as a sea druid, and Martian Manhunter's daughter as a stars druid. For a fighter, you have Batman as a Battlemaster fighter. You have Blade as a champion fighter. I don't know this guy, but he's an Eldritch Knight fighter. And you have Cable as a Psy Warrior fighter. I'll screenshot these pictures and I'll throw them into Discord, and maybe somebody can educate me on who these other people that I don't know are. For the monk, you have Iron Fist as a mercy monk. You have Daredevil as a shadow monk. You have Dick Grayson as his Blue Robin character as an Elements monk. I know I'm missing his name. I know who he is. The name's escaping me. And you have Shang-Chi from from the Ten Rings as an open hand monk. Nightwing, thank you, Kaz. Thank you, Nightwing. Yes. Nightwing, you have Nightwing as an Elements monk. For a paladin, And I was going to go with one of these guys, adding one of these guys in my party, but I decided not to. You have Captain American as a Devotion Paladin. You have Booster Gold as a Glory Paladin. You have Black Panther as the Ancients Paladin. And you have the Punisher as a Vengeance Paladin. For the Rangers, you have... Who is that? Hawk as Beastmaster Ranger. You have Squirrel Girl as a Fey Wanderer Ranger. This one, River's going to like this one really, really, really well. You have Green Arrow as a Gloomstalker Ranger. And you have Hawkeye as a Hunter. As a Rogue, in the Rogue class, for Arcane Trickster, you have Gambit. For the Assassin Rogue, you have Scarlett. You have Scarlett Johansson as her Marvel character. God, why is names escaping me today? Somebody help me out with that. You have Psylocke as Soul Knife. And you have Selena Kyle as a Thief. Black Widow, thank you. Thank you, Kaz. Thank you. For the Sorcerers, words are hard is a phrase I use frequently. Words are hard. Names are hard. Nightcrawler, Black Widow. Yep. Sorcerer. For an Aberrant Sorcerer, I know her. I'm going to look her up because Raven. Raven from Teen Titans is an aberrant sorcerer. For the Clockwork Sorcerer, you have Vision. You have Dark Phoenix Jean Grey as a Draconic Sorcerer. And you have Jinx. I didn't know her. You have Jinx as a Wild Magic Sorcerer. For the Warlocks, Yukai is a Soul Knife character in a campaign currently on hold that I modeled after Psylocke. Nice. Nice. For an Archfey Warlock, you have Enchantress. Dr. Fate is a Celestial Warlock. Ghost Rider as a Fiend Warlock. And Silver Surfer as the Great Old One Warlock. Jinx is from Teen Titans 2. Thank you, cats. And for a wizard, our last set, we have Wu as a Abjurer wizard. Or, not Wu. Wong. Wong as an Abjurer wizard. You have Madam Web as a Diviner wizard. Doctor Strange is an Evoker wizard. And as the Illusionist, you guys can probably guess, it's Zatanna. But that's Marvel and DC characters that best represent each class. What does the chat have to say? You agree? see what chat's saying. River, also Moon Knight, Fighter Rogue, Constantine, Laura Bard, Arcane Trickster, Rogue, Han Solo, Thief, Doom Guy, Vengeance, Pally. Okay, I got that. Yeah, I think that's a pretty comprehensive list. All right. Well, we got 4 more questions left, and then we can get into chat. Our last question is going to lead us into chat because it's a question that was asked to me, and I've got 10 hours playing, so it's not something that I can really chat on. But our next question comes from River. What's my favorite, most memorable heist? Well, that's kind of hard, River. And I'll tell you why. I went with an actual physical heist, an actual real heist, but in terms of movie heists, I like the heist of the gold from Kelly's Heroes, or the heist of the gold from The Italian Job. Basically, any heist that involves gold, I pretty much like. Which leads me to my answer for this question. It's not gold. But my favorite heist is the heist at the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. It's one of the most notorious art thefts in history. On the night of March 18th, 1990, 2 men disguised as police officers entered the museum in Boston, Massachusetts. They claimed to be responding to a disturbance call, and the unsuspecting security guards allowed them entry. Once inside, the thieves handcuffed the guards and spent 81 minutes meticulously stealing 13 pieces of art, including works by Vermeer, Rembrandt, Degas, and Manet. Not Monet, Manet. The stolen art is estimated to be worth $500 million. Some of the most notable pieces taken were Vermeer's The Concert and Rembrandt's Storm on the Sea of Galilee. Despite numerous investigations, leads, and a $10 million reward for information leading to the recovery of the art, this case remains unsolved. So if you want $10 million, give them credible information on where this art is. The empty frames still hang in the museum as a reminder of the theft and hope that the artworks will one day be returned. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist continues to captivate the public's imagination and is considered one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in the world. That's my favorite heist. Now, throwing it back to chat, what's your favorite heist? Katzmeyer says Ocean's 11 is the first thing that comes to his mind, followed closely by D.B. Cooper. Yeah, Ron, Tower Heist. Tower Heist was awesome. Who wouldn't heist a gold Ferrari? I'm telling you. Hi, River. I just answered your question on heists. And I'll kick it back to you. My favorite heist, River, is the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist of 13 pieces of artwork that's worth $500 million. Goldfinger's heist of Fort Knox plot. The idea is clever. Yes. However, Kirk, that comes into play with Die Hard. What is it? Die Hard with a Vengeance? Die Hard 3? Italian Job is great. Same with Reservoir Dogs. But I love the show Leverage. Had lots of great heists in that show. Yes, River. I love Leverage. We provide leverage. They did kick Leverage back in 2 seasons. I think they're working on a 3rd for the Leverage reboot series. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I do know other series are coming out, so there might be taking a step back from Leverage for a bit, but Blacklist has some good heists. Yes, love some Blacklist. obviously James Spader. Anything with James Spader, I'm gonna watch. River says Leverage is one of his favorite shows of all time. You didn't care for the reboot. The reboot. Yes, the reboot was slow, and the reboot looked cheap. Honestly, it looked cheaply done, and it was, because Dean Devlin had a hand in it. So it kind of had the feel of The Librarians, which The Librarians was a good show. I'm not going to say it was the greatest show, but it was a good show. But any Dean Devlin production has that cheap feel, in my opinion. It did lack the magic of the OG series, and that's primarily because of the main character, the lead actor. He did not come back for the reboot, so it is difficult to capture lightning in a bottle twice, and that is something that River pointed out in the Discord earlier this week, and I listened to it while I was digging some holes on my projects that I was on. How there's D&D podcasts out there that are going under because people want to change directions, or they're lacking that je ne sais quoi. I'm not trying to capture lightning in a bottle twice on this podcast. I'd like to, but it's not an ultimate goal. Ron, you're absolutely right. Librarians did not hold a candle to Warehouse 13, and that's because of the cast. It's because of the cast. So, Leverage Redemption is pretty good, but don't know if it'll last. No while has a new show starting soon. Yeah, that's what I was meaning. That's what I was talking about, Yukai. Leverage Redemption went on for 2 seasons, and the last season was like 2-3 years ago. So, don't know if they're doing any more seasons. They may not. Kirk wonders about the D&D streams, if Hasbro might be pulling strings with YouTube versus the little guys. I don't think it's that, Kirk. And if you listen to the guy in the Discord, or the not the guy in the Discord, if you listen to the guy on the YouTube episode that River posted in the Discord, he gives a lot of sage advice for how to produce these types of little D&D podcasts, D&D streams. And we're doing everything. We're doing everything correctly. I mean, we may have to change the format of Rogue Advice, but we'll look at that in future. But we're doing everything. We're doing everything good. We just need to get out there. We need to get more views. We need to get more. We need to have that something extra. So, with that being said, I hope there's a. It was in Kirk. It was in. I'll have to look. And if it's not in an actual channel, it might be in the Rogue Advice Update channel. But if it's not there, it might have got put into a private chat for the mods. If it is, I will post it in the Rogue Advice Update channel for everybody to listen to it and read it. And the reason River posted it is because the first thing that this guy talks about is the demise of the Man Shorts channel. And he didn't do it disparagingly. It caught his eye. He's a watcher of Man Shorts and watcher of Bard Advice. And he talked about Chaz and his thoughts on the reason why their channel kind of is falling to the wayside. So, but with that being said, let's move on to. Okay, River didn't post it in Discord. He posted it in a mod chat. Thanks, River. I'll go ahead and switch it over. Or if you want to do that now and switch it over, perfect. Thanks. But yeah, I hope there's an answer there for the question on my favorite heist, your guys' favorite heist, and we got talking about TV shows. The next question comes from Chris. And it is, what is my dream D&D table? Now, my dream D&D table isn't a secret. It's not. You guys may call it mid, but I like my dream D&D table. All of these people play D&D, so it's not a far stretch from them. But my dream D&D table looks like this. We start with Will Wheaton, obviously. Then we go with Kevin Smith, Vin Diesel, Nathan Fillion. These next four might surprise people. How about Stephen Colbert? Terry Crews, Karen Gillian. And my last one, she's young, but I would invite her to a seat at the table any day of the week. Maisie Williams. Yeah, this is a player's dream table, Kirk. The people you would like, the people at your table that you would like to play with. My physical table, the physical table, my dream D&D physical table has a TV screen in the middle of it, with rolling maps and scrolling maps and everything else, and it's beautiful. But you got to build it. But it's got a freaking like a 37-inch screen, digital screen in it. But that's my dream table. That's my ultimate D&D dream table. I threw James, I threw Nathan in there as a rogue. You got Will Wheaton as, let me see this because I have it here. You have Will Wheaton as a charismatic bard with a knack for storytelling and a love of heroic deeds. Nathan Fillion's the dashing rogue with a heart of gold, always ready with a witty remark. Vin Diesel, I've got him as a barbarian. Kevin Smith, I've got him. Funny. You should. I've got Kevin Smith as a cleric. I thought it was apropos. Stephen Colbert, I've got him as a knowledgeable and strategic wizard with a flair for the dramatic. Karen Gillian, I have her as a resourceful and fearless rogue. Actually, I changed her from a rogue. I have her as an artificer. Yeah, I have her as an inventive artificer, always coming up with clever gadgets and solutions. And Maisie Williams, I have as a noble and valiant paladin, dedicated to upholding justice and protecting the weak. Yeah, I stole her character, Arya, from Game of Thrones. That's how I see Arya as. Kirk says the group he plays with used flat screen, lay it on the table for a while. It was neat, but I'm fine with a dry erase mat. Okay. I like to go big and go and I follow go big or go home. I used to play with I still do on some games. As a matter of fact, it's right there. I have the actual tabletop game for Wrath of Ashadrolon. Um, but we used to actually build sets and have miniatures and stuff like that. But getting into a game like that, I actually need a larger event space basically to use. So you playing in the garage around a table, screen, do the screen, put your pieces on the screen on the glass and have it move. It's pretty neat and pretty interesting. Rivers table. I skipped Terry Crews. I did skip Terry Crews. I have Terry Crews as a mighty and good-natured fighter, known for his strength and protective nature. I mean, anytime you see Terry Crews in anything, that's what he gives off. I mean, look at 9-9. But River says Jim Butcher, Brennan Lee Mulligan, Dan Stevens, Aubrey Plaza, and Tatiana Shmeluk for his party. I was going to throw Aubrey in here, but I decided on Karen and Maisie. You knew Bionic Blonde knew Stephen Colbert was going to be a wizard. Look, okay, so I actually had... It was a toss-up for Stephen. I wanted to make him a halfling. But not a wizard. But I wanted him as like... Because he has Sting. He has Sting. So I wanted to make him like a halfling rogue. But I can't have two rogues in the party. I mean... Nathan Fillion. You can't get more roguish than Nathan Fillion for a party. But being he knows LOTR, I could see Steven playing Gandalf or a Gandalf-esque type character. Steven the Blue. But yeah. So let's see what your guys is well, River posted his dream table. That's my dream table. Now, it's not my fully dream table. Of there are some people that I left off this list. Like, I would love Will Shatner to be at the table. I think Bill is freaking phenomenal. He plays World of Warcraft. He plays Warhammer. He's into all of that. His knowledge of this is far surpasses anything. Joe Manganiello could have been on this list, but I mean, everybody throws Joe into the game. Yeah, I know. I threw Will Wheaton into there. Everybody throws Will Wheaton. I could have thrown Felicia Day in here. I could have thrown Patton Oswalt in here. So many celebrities play D&D. It's unreal. For Vin Diesel's 50th birthday, his wife had a cake company make a cake of D&D books, the Dungeons Master Guide, the player's manual, the monster manual, a big giant D20 on it. I mean, it was phenomenal looking. If we're going living and dead, then my table changes and grows in number. Absolutely. Kirk's dream table is his buddies, guys and gals. Nothing can please me more. Look, if my friends were still playing D&D, I'd invite them to the table too. For celebrities, you need to figure out who is a role player versus who is a role player. You know, yeah, that is actually true. But all of the guys I mentioned are ROLE players. They love the RP. I mean, Kevin Smith can tell stories. Kevin Smith, if I was at this table, I would not DM it. I would ask Kevin Smith to DM it. I would, even if I sucked at the role, I would take on the cleric and I would have Kevin Smith DM my game. Hands down. Or John Favreau. John Favreau plays, and I would have either Kevin Smith or John Favreau DM my game. That's hands down. Apparently, Dame Duty Dench plays. Yes. I want to say Helen Mirren plays also. I'm not sure about that, but I want to say she plays also. Katz's Dream Tables, whoever can consistently show up to every session. Look, isn't that every DM's dream? Katz. So, I hope that's a satisfying answer for Chris. I don't see him in the chat today. But I do hope that's a satisfying answer for him. But that leads us into our final question, and it's 9:46. But our final question comes from another Chris. It actually comes from Katz, and this is the question that I'm going to need chat's help on, because I've only played 10 hours of this game. Like, it's not that I couldn't get into the game. It's just I only played 10 hours. Question is, Red Dead Redemption 2 is on sale on Steam. PSA. What advice do you wish you had when you first played it? Like I said, I only played it for 10 hours. I got maybe, and it's actually on my Xbox, so I maybe got to the shooting the guy off the train to get one of the cards, one of the bounties, I guess, but I have no idea. I didn't play Red Dead Redemption 2 very much or very often. I'm a racer. I play Forza Horizons. I actually am on Act 2 or 3 of Indiana Jones, the Great Circle video game. I have been playing Baldur's Gate. I'm still in... Yes, River, I'm still at Worm's Rest in Act 3 on both Xbox and PC. I need to get on it again. But I've been busy. I've been traveling the country. I've been down in Texas. I've been down in Mississippi. So I haven't had time to play. But yeah, so if the chat can help me out, what advice do you give somebody who's starting out playing the game that you wish you would have had to begin with? The intro to the game is slow, stick with it. And being honorable is better than being dishonorable. Skill issue, pirate. Skill? What skill issue? What is a skill issue for me? Ron's going back to kicking it back to the previous question. If he could round up his favorite authors, he'd be the dumbest guy at the table. You know, Stephen King plays D&D, I think. I think Stephen King plays D&D. But if you could round up authors from history, who wouldn't sit at a table with Samuel Clemens and Stephen King and Clancy and C.S. Lewis, friggin' Hans Christian Andersen. If D&D was around when C.S. Lewis and Hans Christian Andersen were writing their novels and writing their short stories and stuff, do you think they would have played? Samuel Clemens, do you think he would have played? Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe would have been a necromancer. You got to know that. He would have played a necromancer all day. Talk about roleplay in that group. Yeah, I'm serious, cats. There'll be no help on the RDR2 question. Never played it. Tetris is more Yukai's speed or Mario Kart. Don't get me started on Mario Kart. I have aspirations, and I might throw those. I might throw that idea up in the Discord because I don't want this channel to get CANCLED. But I have an idea for Mario Kart, and I think it's a glorious idea. James was just going to say, Poe, new players don't sweat getting everything right. Try different groups and find one that works. You'll be happier all the way. Is that for the RDR2 question, Kirk? By the way, this is we have now surpassed the chat because I can't answer the final question, so I'm leading it to chat. So, what do we want to talk about in chat? Let's start it off great. What's everybody's? I know this week has been a little, for everybody. But let's start it off. Let's end it on a good note. Let's find out what everybody's good things for the week was. I'll tell you my good thing for the week. I beat my personal goal for shovel test in a day. And shovel tests are just little test pits that we dig. We dig them to anywhere between 40 to 80 centimeters below the surface, just to see if there's anything there. No, I didn't find anything, but I dug. In one day, I dug 27 myself. Oh, Kirk was like, he thought it was how to start playing D&D. No, Kirk, it was Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out, and if you played it before, what advice would you give yourself who has never played it before? What advice would you have wanted to have when you first started playing it, kind of thing? River had a week from hell, so my good thing of the week is hanging out with you fine folks in this chat. Oh, thank you, River. I really do appreciate it. Ron's getting a puppy. They got their new puppy from the breeder tomorrow. Can't wait to bring Calliope Raven home. Nice. I like the name. Love the name. Breed. What breed is she? Cat's good thing of the week. He spent 3 hours splitting and stacking firewood. Gonna stay warm the rest of the winter. How many yards of firewood did you stack and split, Cats? Good thing if anyone here is a fitness person, achieved her. You, Kyla, achieved her first wall walk last week. Wall walk. Elaborate, please. Always love a new puppy. It's a pug. Oh, I love Pug. My favorite pug is Frank the Pug from Men in Black. Gotta love Frank. Oh, let's see. Ruby had a stressful week. I'm sorry to hear that, Ruby. But at least you're going to get a puppy tomorrow. Puppies, you know, puppies take a lot of stress off of their owners. Mm-hmm. Your previous was a Chug Penelope Willow. I'm gonna assume it was a pug. So, in the world of sports today, and apparently nobody is in here to rub it in my face. Not that I would have cared. Chaz is going to be happy. Chaz and the Jacksonville Jaguars just signed my offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen, as their new head coach. So, that being said, maybe Trevor Lawrence will have somebody that he can actually learn from, and maybe the Jags will step it up this year. But, unfortunately, Tampa Bay lost their offensive coordinator. So, we're going to get a new one. Don't have a clue who is it going to be yet. But, can't be worse. We cannot be any worse than we did last year. There hasn't been any talk or speculation on if we are losing players or who we're retaining or anything like that. But I'm going to assume that because we did so well this year and we got kicked out of the playoffs first round by the Washington Redskins or the Washington Commanders. Sorry, didn't mean to be insensitive. We're going to continue with the same team next year and hopefully we can build. Good luck to the Commanders and the Chiefs. I do believe that the Commanders are going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles this weekend. And I do believe, well, I hope that it's not the Commanders and the Chiefs, but the NFL script is saying that it's going to be the Commanders and Chiefs. But I'm hoping for the Bills Commanders. I think that'll be a great series. Yeah. Chug is Chihuahua Pug mix. Okay, I did not know that. Katz has a rip cut so far on his logs. Okay. Heist Chess stole your head coat. Yeah. Thank you for that, Kirk. Thank you. A wall walk is where you lay flat on your stomach with your feet against the wall, then push yourself up and walk up the wall and back down. Sure. I'd love to see that. Sunday will be interesting. The Bills game will be tough. I don't think so. I think the Chiefs are underestimating the Bills, and I think the Chiefs are overestimating themselves. So I think the Bills squeak out a win. I mean, who saw it was 41-35. I mean, who saw that happening? The Lions and the Commanders. Who saw the Washington Commanders beat the Lions? Who had that on the bingo card this year? Certainly not me. I mean, Tampa Bay beat the Lions, but they beat the Lions earlier in the season, but 41-35 or 45-31. Jesus. Well, I'm rooting for the Commanders, Yukai. I don't particularly care for the Eagles, and if it's between the Eagles and the Commanders, look, 33 years since the Commanders last won anything significant. And I'll tell you this: Tampa Bay went 33 years without going to the Super Bowl, and they in 2003 when we went to the Super Bowl, 33 years we won the Super Bowl. So that's where I'm chalking numbers at. 33 years Commanders, 33 years Tampa Bay Bucks. Let's go Commanders. I'm all for it. Masochist push-ups, yes. Tomorrow is Robbie Burns Day. Is that a Canadian thing, Ruby? But yeah. So that we are just at time, guys. But that brings us back to that brings us to the end, guys. Scottish. She's Scottish. Okay. But that brings us to the end. So at this time, I'd like to thank everybody for joining on Rogue Advice. Let's keep this train moving. You can send questions in to rogueadvice at roguebardadvice@gmail.com. I'll answer questions. Like, subscribe, share this post. Let's get this out there. Fun place to hang out on a Friday night for an hour. But yeah, join the Discord. Be safe, everybody. Have a great weekend, and